Hello and welcome to this tutorial. My name is Marcus. In this workshop we will integrate the starter battery on the main page in the -OS system. In the last video I showed you which software and tools I used and how to set them up. Therefore I will not go into further detail in this and the following tutorials. I will also link the video in the info card above. To make the integration easier for you, I have written an installer and published it on GitHub with detailed instructions. We will carry out this setup together here as an example. It also serves as a kind of test for you to see if you can handle this type of modification. I have really made it as simple as possible, and it was very time consuming and I hope it helps you. Not everyone is familiar with programming and I want as many people as possible to be able to use these modifications. In addition to the workshop, I will also give you a few tips on the software I used during this setup. And now let's go on. Here an important message. Everything I show here are changes I have made on my system. If you are not confident or don't understand how it works, you shouldn't make these changes. I give no guarantee of function or any damage that may result from malfunction or incorrect implementation. Everything shown here is without guarantee of function. Firmware updates can always change things and affect the system. First, make the changes on a test system and do backups. In this workshop, we make changes to the graphical user interface, the so-called GUI, and all the files for the GUI are in the directory opt Victron Energy GUI QML. It's like an Explorer on your PC. It's the same on the GX device. You can find files in different directories. So for the GUI, it's this one. As we make changes to the main page today, it's the Victron stock. It's called overview hub.qml. If you have installed the GUI mods, it's a little bit different. There, the file name is overview hub enhanced.qml. So you have to take care of that. We will also make changes to the menu page, and I will add a menu there. And in the Victron system, all menu pages and settings pages starts with page, and then there's different types of menus. So in our case today, it's the page display settings.qml. Well, let's first open the software and tools we need. Start with Chrome. We open our GX device and that's okay, it's online. Then our WinSCP. We log in. It's working as well. And PuTTY. Enter the password. And that's okay. And as I told you, there will be installer for each module, and we start going on here with our GitHub page. I will put all links down in the description. So here's the installation tool for the starter battery. You will find a detailed step-by-step instruction there, and that's what we are doing right now. We will go through all the steps to the end. So let's start with step 1. It says download the installer files, and we have to do this the first 3 steps on the command line. So we go to our PuTTY. So everything you find here, the commands, you don't have to copy it or type it. you can just click on the little two squares on the right top corner here. And if you click on it, it will be copied. Then you go to your console, push the right mouse button, and then it's inserted automatically. You just have to enter return, and it's done. And if there's no error message, everything is okay. You will not see anything else. Then you go to the second step, copy, go there, paste it, hit enter. Okay, step 1 is okay. So step 3, you can choose between two languages. I have made an English version and a German version. As we are in the English recording now, we use the English version. It's the same procedure, copy, paste. And when I hit return now, there will be a little bit text. And if there are no error messages, everything is okay. Type in clear to make the screen clear, and step 3 is done. Now we go to step 4, where we have to make modifications to the files we installed right now and some existing files. Here's an overview for the different versions. As I showed you before in the graphical interface, there's a default Victron file and there are files for the GUI mods. It's just the first one which is different, but here's an overview. So let's go to step 4. And before we open the file, I will show you something inside WinSCP. We go to the directory of the GUI, which is opt Victron Energy GUI/QML. We go to the beginning. We can either choose this icon here, or you can just click on the first slash here and you are on the root directory. So let's go to opt Victron Energy GUI QML. Here you can see all the files, but it's a little bit difficult to make a difference between original files and changed files, package files, because they have the same name at the beginning, but another ending. And I show you a little trick here to make it more comfortable to view. So you go on this little icon here where filter is and click the arrow. And then you have file colors. You open this, and then you can add file masks. We start with the no orig, and you type in star dot and the exact type of ending here. If there are more than one ending, you can say edit, and then you can enter line by line all the endings you want to display in another color. There's the package as well, so I enter star dot package, and I think there are some files called orig. I enter it here, star dot orig. That's all. So you say okay here, and then you change the color. We say this should be a light gray because we don't want to change anything there that are backup files and files we don't want to touch. Hit OK. And then you see this will be the color of those files. And as we want to make changes to the correct QML files, we add the QML files as well there, and we type in star.qml, and we make them in another color, and we use for example, Victron blue. Is it Victron blue or is it? Yeah, it's okay. Take this one. And we say okay. And now we see QML files will be blue. And you see, It's much more readable because all the gray files are not important for us. That's it for the WinSCP Explorer, just to see what you can do there. Next step, number 4, is to open the file rb underscore starter battery. We go back to our WinSCP and we have to search for this file. And to jump to the correct letter, mark this directory and hit the first letter, so R, and we are at R. And here's our file we want to change. We open it. And there it is. And see what we have to do. We have to edit the line with the ID starter battery voltage by modifying the path to the measurement. And that's an important thing because I don't know where you measure your starter battery voltage. There's sometimes a smart shunt or a battery monitor or a multiplus, I don't know. So in this case you have to do it by yourself, and I show you how you can find out where your measurement is. And you can see here, use the command dbus spy on the command line, and then that's what we do right now. dbus -spy, hit enter, and you see all the devices that are connected to your Victron system. And in my case, it's the second one. It's the battery, the smart shunt, which has the information we need. So my starter battery is connected to the smart shunt. I hit enter. Everything is described here in this description, so you can see it here as well. What we do now is we have to find out the measurement of the starter battery. For your information, the main measurement of a smart shunt or a battery monitor is the main battery of your vehicle, not the starter batteries, the standard battery for your motorhome. This is by default DC 0 voltage, and you can see it's here 12.52. The second measurement of your device is the DC/1 voltage. That's the additional sensor where you can make the settings inside the Victron system to say, okay, on my second measurement is the battery, my starter battery. In this case, it's DC/1 voltage. Here you see it's 12.53. Don't wonder, it's the same for me for DC0 and DC1 because I have just one battery or just one power supply here in my office. So we have the measurement and we need this one. This is very important because this is the path to your sensor. It's com.victronenergy battery TTY USB 1. That's the part where the measurement is done. We go back to our instruction and we see we have to change the path here in the file. Open it, and here you see modify this line. And we have this path. We compare it to our system here, and we see in the default it's USB 3 and here it's USB 1. So the rest is the same, com.victronenergy.battery.tty USB 1. So I make a change here from 3 to 1 and say save. You can do it with Control S. That's it for the file RB start battery. exit this tool, press Ctrl C on the keyboard, and you are back on your console. And now we can go to step 5. We have to add this line in the file Overview Hub Enhanced, or if you choose the stock Victron, it's just Overview Hub.qml. As we have installed the GUI mods, we use the Overview Hub Enhanced. We open the file. Here we press O for Overview, and then we scroll down and we find here's the Overview Hub. It's the stock Victron, and here's the Overview Hub Enhanced from the GUI mods. So make a double click on it. Let's open and see the instructions. Copy this line. We have to enter it at this part here. And you see here are the lines. It's about line between 20 and 25. Just check the text here. So overview page, ID root after this. And we have it here, the same place, overview page, ID root, and behind we paste this line. That's it. Hit Ctrl S, and you can see here on top there's a little blue dot. That means this page is not saved. It's changed but not saved. So if I hit Ctrl S, the blue dot is gone, and it means it's saved. You can see that also in your WinSCP. There's a date and timestamp when it's changed, and it's the same time as we have now, so it's a control for you as well. Let's go on to the next step. Step 6. There we have to make the modifications to the page settings display. That's where the menu is. So we go to our WinSCP, hit a P for the page. Then we look for page settings display. It's a little bit down. You see there are a lot of configuration pages. And here we are, the page settings. But we need the page settings display. This one. Double click. Then it's open. Check the instructions. And we have to place it near line 70. Yeah, it's about here. You see there start the GUI mods menu as well. So just right before there, you have to put it in. Copy this line. Go back to our page, scroll down to about line 70, and you see here the GUI mods are starting, and compare it. It's MB switch bind name, and here's the add GUI mods menu. Okay, so we space there and paste it, and that's it. You save it, Ctrl S, and that's it for this file. And now we have to go on, open the instructions, and that's it. It's done. The only thing you have to do now for see the changes, because you will see the changes after a restart of the GUI. You don't have to restart your complete device. You just have to restart the GUI. And there are differences between the GX devices from Victron and a Raspberry. So if you have a Victron device, a Cerbo or whatever, you have to choose the first one. And if you have a Raspberry like I have, you have to choose this command. We copy this, go to our console, paste it with the right mouse click, and before I hit enter, I will go to my device view. And you see when I hit enter, it restarts the GUI. And when I reconnect, I can see the starter battery here. And there's one last thing. As you can see here, this line is right near to the new information. And we can change this later. First, I will show you the configuration of this installation. You go to menu, then settings, go down to display and language, and there's a new menu, roadbook mods and starter battery, and there you can make the settings for the main page. You can either switch it on or off. So if it's off, you won't see it anymore on the main page. And when you turn it on, you will see it. Here you can change now the thresholds. So I make this as a default, but you can change it for your needs. We do this right now because our measurement was 12.53. Go a little bit. We change it to 12.7. So this means if the voltage is below 12.7, it will be a low voltage information. So the battery will be orange now. Sorry for this tab file. It will be always there on the beginning. You can remove that if someone is interested in how to remove that overlay. Let me know, I will tell you. Now we have warning for the standard voltage warning. There's a critical warning as well, so we go with the low voltage a little bit higher and make the critical warning to 12.6. Save it, and now it should be red. That means this is critical now, so you can configure it by yourself. Let's go back to our default. So it's the main color here. You can change this color to whatever you want. You just have to change the settings in the file rb_starterbattery.qml at the beginning. You can see it here. These are the 3 entries for the different colors. I use color names here because for most people this is much easier. If you want to know which name is allowed here, you can go to the following website. There's a page called We3 Schools HTML color names, and you can choose a color name you want. Here we have a nice cornflower blue, which is similar to the Victron blue. So you can choose this name, or you can also use the HTML color name, but you have to be sure to use the hashtag in front of the code. So we use the name, we use cornflower blue. Go to our file and enter cornflower blue. Control S to save it. Now we have to restart our GUI, and in the console you just have to enter the up arrow to get the last command again. Our device has restarted, we reconnect, and now you see the blue one. As I told you, I will show you now how to make a little bit more space here between those. You will find this in the description as well. Down at the bottom here you can see how to make the space here. You have to make 3 changes in the Overview Hub Enhanced. We open our Overview Hub Enhanced. Go to our settings. You search for this term, ID _space DC bus 2. And to do that, you go to your editor, hit Control F, and then you can enter the term here in your search field. ID _space DC bus 2. And there you see one result. Found, you go to find, and there we are at the place we have to make the changes. Let's see what we have to do. We have to change this line. So you can see it's the top connect top. Make it a little bit smaller here. You make 2 dashes in front of this line to make it a command. That means it will not be processed. It's a command. And we copy the rest of this line and paste it there. I do this to have the original file and the original text in the file so that I can see what I have changed. And now we make the changes. We make a semicolon and type top margin _3, and I write a comment behind, say it's RB_mods. Go to the second change. It's the same procedure. So you make the 2 dashes before, copy the rest of the line, make a little bit space and enter that, semicolon, then bottom margin double point, and here it's -3. Enter the command. That's it for this. Now we have to go to this section here. It's ID _space multi to DC connect. So we go to our search field and change this line to multi to DC, and you see there's just one result left, so we can go directly there. There we are. And here we have to make just one line. Same procedure. Take care to use the right line. It's top DC connect. Copy. Paste. Semicolon and top margin _3. Make the command for recognize the changes. After these changes, save it. And after this, we have to restart our GUI. Same procedure. Arrow up to get the last command. Hit enter and graphical interface restarts. Reconnect, and now you see we have a little bit more space between those. That's just needed when you use the GUI mods because the space is there a little bit less. And that's it for the installation of the starter battery on the main page. Hope you enjoyed it. I will now show you a little bit technical background, how I made the modifications and how I made it a little bit different to make it easier for you after an update. Normally the code for the changes in the GUI files is inserted directly. The problem is that any update could override the settings, so I have made it as easy as possible to restore them. I created an additional file and did not write the code directly into the overview file. Instead, I wrote it into the separate file. To call the code in the relevant overview anyway, we simply take the file name, in this case RB starter battery, without the QML extension. Insert it into the original file and put 2 curly brackets after it. The code is then called up there as if it were in the file. If the change is now overwritten by an update, only this one line needs to be inserted again. And that's easy. That's it for the first workshop video in which we made the changes to the graphical user interface. I hope you were able to follow my instructions. These kinds of videos are new to me and I have to get used to them a bit. It's also a huge amount of work to create the videos in 2 languages, as I have to prepare the devices for them each time. From time to time, I have also had to deal with some technical problems with video or audio, but I've promised to make the tutorials and so I will produce them now. I'm also working hard on programming the modules for the Trumer heater and the max fan in order to publish the code. As everyone has a different setup, there will be a basic setup for the Trumer, then there will be various add-ons depending on the equipment and requirements. Please understand that this will take time. I'm already very far and near to publish the code. There are many new features that have already been integrated. If you have any questions, suggestions or constructive feedback, please write them in the comments. That's it for this tutorial. I wish you all a good time.